Hi guys, Coach George here. I know we're all bummed because of the coronavirus, the stay-at-home order, and the uncertainty of this spring season. I know a lot of you guys, and myself included, were really excited to get back out onto the lacrosse field after such a long break. However, I wanted to provide you guys with at least a little video to help you guys work on some skills and drill work while you're at home. The first video here is going to walk you guys through about 20 to 30 minutes of skills and drills that you can work on at home in your own backyard. Most of this stuff you can do by yourself. Some of the stuff, if you have a parent or a brother who can throw a ball to you, you can at least work on your throwing and catching that way for this first video. In the next video, I'll show you a drill that you can work on if you have a brick wall around, but we'll get to that later. Hopefully this gets you guys outside, it gives you something fun to do, and maybe it'll stop you guys from irritating your parents, at least for a little while. The three drills we're going to focus on here in this first video are the three drills that we focus on in our first practice each season. The first drill is working on ground balls, and it's something that is extremely important in lacrosse and something that we focus on a little bit at least in every single practice. Then it's going to cover some cradling techniques, and finally some throwing and catching, which again is something that we work on just about every practice. So I'm going to move outside and let you guys follow along.
So for everything we're going to do, I want you guys to wear gloves at the very least. If you have a helmet and you want to wear a helmet, that would be great. But at the very least, you guys should be wearing gloves and get used to moving in them and doing each of these skills while wearing some gear. The first thing we're going to work on is proper ground ball technique. And the things you need to know are to get low, bend at your knees, and get your butt slow. And when I say get your butt slow, I mean both your butt and the butt of your stick down to the ground. This way you're going to win every ground ball and you won't leave it behind. You drive your hands through the ball and you keep your feet moving, and then you scoop and protect that ball and get it up by your head where the other team can't knock it away from you. When you do this at game speed, you're going to run through that ball as fast as you can and protect. What I don't want you guys to do is get in the habit of keeping your butt end of the stick up high and trying to scoop the ball like that. All you're going to do is push the ball away from you, or you're going to drive your stick into the ground and get yourself bruised by the butt of your stick. You also need to drive your hands through so that the ball settles in the deep part of the pocket and not the shallow end of the pocket. And that only happens if you get both hands low through the ground. The thing I want you guys to keep in mind is I want you guys to get comfortable doing each drill with both hands. A lot of you guys are right-handed players and keep your right hand at the top of your stick all the time. I want you guys to do 20 to 25 ground balls with your right hand on top, and then switch hands and go left hand. Keep in mind that either hand that's on top, you want to keep your feet moving and protect that ball over that same shoulder. So when I carry that ball or scoop that ball up with my right hand, it goes over my right shoulder. When I switch hands then, and I'm doing this left-handed, it comes up over my left shoulder, and it's tight and protected where the other team isn't going to knock it away. Good way to get a lot of repetition at this is to utilize a short distance across your backyard and just work on ground balls going back and forth. So all I'm going to do is put a ball right out in the middle, get a good couple of steps away, run through the ball. As soon as it's settled in my stick, I roll it back out in front of me, and then I do it the same way, go in the opposite direction. Roll that ball back, and then run through it again. After I do that maybe 20 to 25 times, I'll switch hands and go left hand with it. Again, just working back and forth across maybe an 8 feet to 10 feet section of my yard, just back and forth 20 to 25 times each hand. Now we need to talk about what you're doing after you've scooped up the ground ball. and this is something called cradling. There are two different types of cradling in lacrosse. There's power cradling when you're in open field space, and then there's cradling when you're being guarded and you need to protect the ball a little bit more. I'm going to demonstrate this without a ball so that you guys can follow along and I can slow it down just a little bit. We're going to talk about power cradling first. My top hand goes near the top of the stick, bottom hand at the butt end of the stick. My bottom hand is going to be my anchor, and we're going to keep that locked in by my left hip. For open field or power cradling, you're going to start at your hip or at your side and just go straight up to your ear. When the stick starts, the face is pointed out away from my body, and when I finish my motion, the face of the stick is pointing that same direction. And I need to utilize my full range of motion within my wrist to accomplish that. So in slow motion, I coil up, and then to release, I just do the exact opposite, and I just relax my wrist and bring my top hand down by my side again. And this is open field or power cradling when there aren't any defenders and I have a longer stride carrying that ball up and down the field. When there's a defender and I need to protect the ball a little bit more, I need to keep that ball by my helmet or by my face where I'm using my body to protect it. Right now, I have that ball protected away from a defender in front of me. My range of motion from here is going to be from my ear to my nose, to my ear to my nose. And it's a quick motion to keep that stick constantly moving and to keep that ball locked in the deep part of the pocket. If I go too slow when I'm carrying a ball, in either case of cradling, when I'm rotating that stick around, the ball is going to drop down and I'm going to lose control of it. I need to use a quick range of motion to keep that ball locked in place, regardless of which kind of cradling I'm utilizing. Finally, we're going to finish with throwing and catching. Your hand position for catching: bottom hand goes at the bottom of the stick, top hand goes near the pocket, almost touching the plastic. When you're ready to receive the ball, your hand position, your hands come out in front, and your stick is pointed where the ball is coming from to show that you're ready to receive that ball. This also helps with soft hands, because as soon as the ball reaches my pocket, I'm dropping it back over my shoulder where it's protected, and I can receive that ball a little bit easier. When I go to throw then, my bottom hand stays put, and my top hand drops down to about the middle part of my stick. That'll give me a long range of motion instead of being constricted in here. When you go to throw, you step into it, and you need a good follow through, and your stick should either point at your foot on your opposite side, or it should point right where you want the ball to go. All right, back to catching. When I'm ready to receive the ball, the stick is pointed towards my partner, the ball comes in, and I receive it with soft hands. And when I go to throw, I just drop my top hand, I step towards my target, and follow through.